President Trump continues to take aim at big online retailers, especially Amazon. Here's the tweet. States and cities throughout our country are being cheated and treated so badly by online retailers. Very unfair to traditional tax-paying stores. Axios media reporter Sarah Fisher is with us. You broke this story about the president going after Amazon. I say it's personal. President Trump does not like Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon and owner of the Trump-hating Washington Post. I say it's personal. What say you?
I think you're exactly right. Look, we don't see the president tweeting about some of its FANG rivals like Facebook and Google. We only see these tweets coming in about Amazon. And look, those tweets have an effect. We're seeing now the Supreme Court is taking up a case on this. There's a lot of attention around online sales tax. We'll see what it means for Jeff Bezos and Amazon.
Do you think he can really have much effect? I mean, the Supreme Court is considering whether online retailers have to pay sales tax in various localities. I got that. But is there any other way that the president could successfully go after Amazon?
The way that he should probably do it if he wanted to have some impact would be to go through the DOJ, which he's not supposed to influence, to really get at them from an antitrust perspective, meaning Amazon's too big, they have anti-competitive power. But that's going to be really difficult for him to do. He could try to sway Congress to pass some laws around internet sales tax. But again, it's an election year, so I wouldn't expect them to take action either. The president's kind of stuck.
OK, that's an interesting expression. Now, I don't know which way Axios leans. I think you're pretty much dead down the middle. You're a news operation, and that's what you do. But how do you feel about the president going after Amazon?
The president can take to Twitter and say whatever it is that he wants. I agree with you that he probably has a personal vendetta against Jeff Bezos, which is why he's targeting them. But at the end of the day, it's sort of a distraction. Like I said, there's not much that the president can do in this instance. So anything that he says is really just sort of noise on Twitter. As
a media reporter, what's your opinion of some of the language which the president uses in his tweets?
It's very effective. When you take a look at how the president communicates with his constituency, he uses very direct words. He's very repetitive. Whether or not you agree with what he's saying, I think he's a skilled communicator, and I think his tweets get the message across what he's trying to say pretty well.
Nice point. You are really straight down the middle. You don't want to take a side politically, do you?
No.
Good for you. OK. Welcome to the show. Good to have you with us. OK.
Good to see you.
Yes, we'll see you again soon, that's promised.